Well, good afternoon. My name is Karen. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I do currently serve as the Associate Director in Student Involvement. So, as you can see, I do have a variety of different responsibilities that I have in the office, which does include like supervising all of our professional staff, being a liaison between the student organizations and administration when it comes to planning events. I do oversee the entire departmental budget as well as helping students with any funds requests they have for their tier funds or the general fund requests and things of that nature. And then I do facilitate all of the contract processes. So when students want to bring in a DJ or have an outside vendor like a speaker, for example, I do work with them on a everyday basis to make sure that they have everything that they need. So obviously, the presentation is Leadership 101 at Lindenwood. So I did want to start with a little bit of understanding what leadership actually is. And so a lot of times people use leadership as a buzzword, but they don't necessarily always understand what it is and what it means to them. So for example, in the way that I communicate or understand leadership is it's something that you can gain from various different experiences that can help you to be successful, not only in your career, in your relationships, your friendships, and networking opportunities and things of that nature. And so overall, I think that as I continue to grow as a professional, or like a friend, as well as just within my relationship with my husband, I always try to think about the different experiences that I can gain through difficult conversations or critical thinking skills and things of that nature that help me to develop as a leader, both personally and professionally. So if you feel comfortable either unmuting yourself or writing in the chat box, maybe tell me what leadership means to you. And you don't necessarily have to talk a whole lot or have a big paragraph, but just wanted to hear from you, what, when you think of the word leadership, what does that mean?
I think I have an idea. Excuse me. Good afternoon.
Hi.
I think an idea for leadership is like what I do, like lead by example, like be a positive role model for the younger students, and just helping each other out. Like also be a team player as well.
Absolutely.
Like help each other out. So
Absolutely. Yeah, that's great. And welcome. I see we have someone new in the in the video. So I just want to welcome you. I know you're probably trying to get set up, but we have just started, so you haven't really missed too much. We're just talking about leadership and what it means to us. So if you have any words that you want to say in terms of when you think of the word leadership, what does it mean? You could either write that in the chat box or you can say it, out loud. But I know that you just came in, so I don't want to make it super awkward for you.
Oh no, it's all good. It's only just me and this other guy here, Jay Hood.
Yeah.
Okay. So leadership is pretty much what you have out there. A leader is a decider, motivator, master communicator. A leader is a person that bears ultimate responsibility. And the leader should be the calming force in the face of adversity.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's good. Thank you. And if you two wouldn't mind going ahead and in the chat box, writing your name. And if you are representing any organizations, any student organizations, go ahead and put that in the chat box as well. That would be great. So yeah, you both said some really awesome things. And I think that none of it was wrong. It all is, pretty comprehensive in terms of what a leader is and what leadership is. But the biggest thing is that there are a lot of benefits in gaining leadership development experience and opportunities. So obviously you learn great communication skills. You feel more motivated when you're working on teams of people and trying to solve challenges. It's very important when you're thinking about your decision making and accountability, because all this is transferable in your professional career as well as any personal relationships that you have. The biggest benefit that I can always tell students is employability. So when you look at resumes, for example, if you saw a resume where they just kind of talked about their accolades academically, while that is great, you know, when employers are looking at applicants and the application pool, you may stand out a little bit more because you've had certain leadership experiences. So for example, Christopher, you're representing BSU. Well, being a member and a part of BSU, whether that's planning events, a general member, being an officer, those are all things that would make you look, you know, more desirable or more qualified in terms of that role. And so it's definitely important. And then Jason, you know, with you being involved in Phi Mu Alpha, that is also something that would look really positive on a application, a resume, or a cover letter. And then one of the things I just want to cover really quickly with is misconceptions. So with leadership development, one of the things that I always hear students say is positional leadership is the best experience that you can have. And what they mean by that is, oh, I was president, or oh, I was treasurer. You know, those are the most two common, you know, officer positions that people tend to talk about a lot. But one of the things that I like to remind students is that regardless if you are in a position of officer or, you know, power, sometimes being a general member and kind of being what you call that unsung hero, someone that's behind the scenes, working for the greater good of the student organization, also gets great leadership experience. And so that is one thing that I always want to remind students, that sometimes it's not about just getting the officer positions. It's actually trying to figure out where you fit in most and where you can be best used in the organization. And then the other thing is, people always say you don't need leadership and development in order to be successful. And I like to challenge people on that, because obviously, you know, if you don't have certain leadership development experiences, you won't be able to understand how to better communicate, better problem solve, work through difficult conversations and situations. And so as you continuously go through different experiences, that you know, will really help you to become a better leader, it will also translate in order for you to be successful. So I just wanted to touch on that first. So there are a variety of leadership development opportunities. And so I wanted to just touch on those really quickly. And then what I'll do is I'll talk a little bit about the leadership opportunities that are available at Lindenwood University. So first and foremost, workshops. Easiest thing for you to get leadership experience from, or leadership development experience from, is through workshops. You can find them either through your school, your academic school. You can find them through places like the Center for Diversity and Inclusion on campus. And then even if you had a peer that maybe goes to another school, or a really nice company that is offering a free workshop or webinar, that is a way that you can obviously network with people. There's a lot of small groups that you can be put in, things of that nature. And you definitely always leave with something that you've learned that will help you to build your toolbox. Conferences are the same thing. I know we're in this COVID-19 where all of our conferences are virtual, but you know, if you think back pre-COVID, if you've ever been to a conference, there's 100,000 people there. You're likely to find someone who you connect with and someone who you never would have thought you connected with, and gain, you know, certain leadership skills that will be very helpful to bring back into your organization, to your job, things of that nature. So conferences used to be like my favorite thing to do ever. And I always had like 10 pages of notes from that experience. Certification programs, and I'll talk a little bit more about what I mean by that, but that's any program that you can participate in, whether self-paced or something that you have to complete in a certain amount of weeks. Obviously, you have LinkedIn that does have a LinkedIn Learning. So if you do have LinkedIn, or you're thinking about how can you utilize LinkedIn, please know that there are certification programs that are available. Some of them are free, some of them do cost money, but you know, you can always find ways to build and expand your leadership development skills. Elective courses. We know a lot of times we have opportunities where, aside from our actual major, we do have courses that we can take at the university that are leadership focused. And so that's working on a team with people, projects, things of that nature. So I'm pretty sure everybody either remembers doing some sort of freshman or transfer elective course where it's like, you know, leadership 101, like that's like one of the first things that you do when you come to college. So, you know, or if you haven't had the opportunity to do that, there's probably still time to do that. So I don't know, you know, where you are in your journey of getting all of your courses completed and what elective courses you have left to take. But I challenge you to look at what's available and maybe see if there is something that you can do to gain some more leadership development
I am
experience.
looking for the express lane out of college.
Okay, awesome. Can't be mad at that. Can't be mad at that. And then student org membership. So obviously you two are representing student organizations. So that is one of the ways to get a lot of leadership development, both as members and positional as officers. So I want to talk about some of the opportunities that we have at Lindenwood University. And then let me just let somebody in the waiting room. Let me welcome them into the waiting room or into the chat. So first and foremost, we actually are very excited to announce that we will have the Summit on Leadership Development, which we call SOLD. This year, it will be virtual and it is completely free. So those are two big things that you always want to look out for when you're trying to find opportunities at Lindenwood. And so this virtual experience will be on February 6th from 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. It is co-hosted between Lindenwood University, Maryville University, and the University of Health Sciences and Pharmacy. So if you are interested in participating in this, I can either send you the link or go on Involve You, type in SOLD under events. There's an RSVP link and you can RSVP to participate. One of the cool things about this opportunity is you will meet students from other campuses and that have other interests and things of that nature. This year, obviously, kind of playing along the whole idea of a mask. The theme is unmasking your leadership potential. And so there will be different sessions and breakout sessions for you to participate in that will help you to unmask your leadership potential that either you didn't know you had or you wanted to refine or kind of build upon. And then obviously just kind of generally speaking, we will have an opening and closing keynote. There will be two breakout sessions. There'll be a morning breakout session and an afternoon breakout session. There'll be a wellness break where you can either practice mindfulness or yoga. And then there will be also networking rooms throughout the course of this experience, and the networking rooms are built out with different interests. And so fraternity and sorority life, adult learner, someone who is maybe a transfer student. So you can pop into any of those rooms that really do interest you. So again, if you're interested in participating in that, it's free. It's on February the 6th and it's from 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. The next opportunity that we have, and you've already started participating in these because you're at this one, is our virtual leadership series. So every fall and spring, we actually do a bi-weekly leadership series. They are completely free to our students. They're every Tuesday at 4 p.m. unless the presenter does need to change different, their time commitment. But we always have different topics and we love to learn from you all. So at the end of this presentation, I'll have you take a really quick survey and let me know what other topics you want to see. But going forward right now, on February 9th, we do have Steps Toward Inclusive Leadership, and that is hosted by the CDI's Jen Spalazza. On February the 23rd, we'll have more of one on the career development side about creating a winning resume and interviewing like a pro with Dr. Kathy Voshvik. And then on March the 9th, we'll talk about resolution and how the peaceful resolution is the best solution. And that will be facilitated by our Director of Student Involvement, Angie Royal. So if you ever want to attend any of those, please know that both SOLD and the Virtual Leadership Series does help you to fulfill a certification program, which I'll talk about a little bit later. And then the next thing that we have, this is more of a newer initiative, but it has been quite successful past semesters. So we are excited to continue it in the spring, is Dining with Lions. So Dining with Lions is just a program. This year it's virtual just because of COVID-19, but we will be highlighting different alumna and also different departments every month. So this next month, we will have Kayla. She will be joining us as the Regional Vice President of Sales at Paycom, and she will talk about how the power skills that she learned and acquired in the School of Humanities, such as critical thinking, effective communication, and how to work on a team to find best solutions, really helped her in her career journey. And it will be facilitated by one of our faculty members in the School of Humanities. So if you're interested in just learning more about power skills in general, or if you are in the School of Humanities, this may be a really great opportunity for you. You do have to RSVP for this event. So you will have to go into Involve You, find the actual event, RSVP, and then a link will be sent out. So this is supposed to be,
All right, question. I tried to get on All Involve You last week to look for something to do, and it wasn't working.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and send me an email? I would like to talk with you more about that. Is it that you're not being able to log in, or when you log in, are you not able to see anything?
It won't let me log in. It says disabled.
Okay, great. Yeah, so that's great. Send me an email, and then what I'll do is I'll work with you one-on-one to make sure that I understand completely what the issue is, and then I can get it resolved for you immediately.
Okay.
Awesome, thank you. Because you definitely want to know about that. Okay, and then the other thing that I want to talk about, I talked about certification program, and we do have a certification program on our campus called Elevate Leadership Certificate, and it is a self-paced leadership certificate that you can structure around your interests and career goals. So the Dining with Lions and Sold and the Virtual Leadership Series all do meet some of the criteria that you need to complete the Elevate certificate program. You are assigned with a mentor after you enroll. And so the good thing is you can work with your mentor to figure out what opportunities you have. Involve You is, again, another space to look, because we actually have a tag. So on the tag, you'll just click Elevate, and then anything that fulfills your Elevate requirements will show up in the event section. So that's really, really great. And then students actually do earn a certificate and grad cords upon completion. And then you're actually able to print out your whole entire experience log from Involve You so that you can have what we would call like a co-curricular transcript. And so you can always use that to attach like to your resume or your CV, things of that nature. And you'd be certified as a leader once you complete this program. So does anyone have any questions about this program?
What are the other requirements?
So there are different requirements. So for example, you do have one that's like community engagement. And then within that, there's things that kind of break down what you need to do. So that could be participating in, or I guess earning like a X number of community service hours and things like that. So I won't get too much into specifics, but if you are interested in it, again, since I have to meet with you about Involve You, I can just have an entry meeting with you about Elevate as well and kind of break down all of the things. Some students complete it in a semester, some students draw it out to the whole 4 years. So it really just depends on, the time commitment that any student has to complete it, and or, what they're really interested in. So for example, if this semester is really busy with them about like they have 19 credit hours and they really weren't able to do much, but they know like in the fall they'll be able to do a lot more. They can work more on, in a certain semester to complete things. So that's a really great question, Chris. And like I said, I would be happy to, schedule an entry meeting with you to work through that. And I noticed that Paula is here. So Paula, if you want to in the chat, put your name as well as any student organizations you're representing, that would be great. Any other questions? Keep clicking this. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about is something that we have just recently done the past couple of years. at Lindenwood University, and it's called the Collegiate Leadership Competition, or CLC for short. And it is what we would consider a tangible, high impact learning experience for future leaders. So I was a coach last year for the CLC team. And basically what we did, we had a team of 6 students that met every single week, Friday at 2 p.m. And basically what we did is went through some curriculum that had certain activities. And then we gave the directions, to the students. We observed as coaches for them to try to resolve whatever the issue or, the activity was. And then we gave meaningful feedback based on performance and the task that they did to get to wherever they went. So it really wasn't always about completing the task. It was about how you work together to figure out how to resolve the task. So this was a really great opportunity for us, not only to practice as a team. We also went to SIU and did basically a scrimmage, because what ends up happening is after you do all of the curriculum and activities for the semester, you do a big competition between all of the other different schools that have signed up. So in the past, you see our hardware here. So we've taken like first place and second place and third place and fourth place. But the idea, it really isn't about like winning. It's more about the experiences. So everybody gets to lead an activity as a spokesperson. Everyone gets to, kind of be essentially like the follower in a sense and really take direction from the leader. And then ultimately you just learn how to work with each other, each other's strengths and kind of areas of improvement. And you really do give that meaningful feedback to your team member. You don't say like in a mean way, like, oh, I didn't like how you did this, but hey, like maybe this is just something to consider when you are working with people, because it is really useful for them if they want to be a project manager or if they want to lead a team of a variety of different personalities. It's very helpful for them. Any questions about CLC?
Oh yeah, hello. One question.
Hi. Yeah, absolutely.
And like, where can I can apply for these, or like, can I like search more information about this?
Absolutely, Paula. So with CLC, there is an application. That application has closed already, just due to CLC being virtual this year. We did not have enough students that were interested in participating virtually, but we are super excited and hopeful that in the fall, we will be able to reopen the application. Last year, we had like 25 applications. So we know that our students are super interested in participating. And then Paula, let me just go back really quickly. Elevate, that's on Involve You. There is basically a form that you complete. And if you are, obviously interested, I will reach out and I'll set up an introduction meeting to kind of give you a better understanding of what Elevate is and how to complete it. And then Dine In with Lions is just under events. And then you can RSVP on that specific event. And then with the virtual leadership series, that is also on Involve You. And obviously you just click the link and that will bring you here. So that's a really great question.
Thank you. And another question, like for the group, I have to come up with my group, or like in that session, they will give me like a team, or how?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. So the team is comprised of students who actually apply and basically are selected to be a part of the team. And so, you and your friends could all apply. We do allow everyone to practice with us, but we do only select 6 people to actually compete in the actual competition. So we'd like for everyone to participate in the practices, because it's still a really great experience, but based on the requirements to have a team for CLC to compete, you can only have 6. So that's a really good question as well.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions go to the next slide? Awesome. And then the last thing that I would say is a really great opportunity for students here at Lindenwood is being a part of one of the 60 registered student organizations that we have in Involve You. So for example, I have the Accounting and Finance Club. As you can see, they currently have 22 members. Yeah, you have a question?
So I've been in the Accounting and Finance Club for like a year and nothing has literally happened the entire time.
Well, I think that sometimes it will be up to us to really work with the advisor to make sure things are happening, because I personally don't manage, what's going on and what's not going on in student organizations. And so if you have concerns with, things actually not happening within the organization, you are free to reach out to the advisor. I can work with the advisor, because I think the idea is for people to actually be present and do things within the student organization. So that's a good point. And that's one of the reasons why I have this on the slide. So if you are a student who joins the organization, find that not a lot is happening, it's a leadership experience for you to then therefore create experiences for other students to participate in. And so I think that's a great opportunity for you to say, hey, nothing is really happening with the accounting and finance club, but I have some ideas that I want to bring to, this organization and some events, and you can either work with me or you can work with the actual designated advisor to make sure that those things happen. So that's a great question, great thought. But I think that there's also opportunity for us to create some experience if you're not seeing anything. So it's really easy for the most part to join most of our student organizations, unless it's one of our social fraternities and sororities, which you do have to go through a recruitment process for. But in a nutshell, you just click the join button. I have it here highlighted in yellow. There's always membership positions available. Officer positions do tend to come available. So if you really like the organization, want to be available and participate more. So like Jason, you're in theater operations, like that is something that you probably have more of a designated position and do certain things for. You have the ability to do that. If you look and involve you and you don't see any organizations that interest you, please know that you also can start an organization. Obviously, there are a list of criterias that we need to complete in order for you to actually start the organization. But for example, there's a constitution. We do have templates, so we make it kind of easy for our students to navigate that process. You do have to maintain a certain number of members, obviously, once you start the organization. So if it's just one member, like you can't really sustain the organization, but if there's a handful, then that will be helpful. You do have to have a faculty or staff advisor, and we do help you facilitate what that process looks like. We can help you select one if you don't have anybody in mind. And then you do have to present at an LSG General Assembly meeting to be approved to become a recognized student organization. We do ask that you all reach out to me or Angie Royal first, just to ask us whether or not the organization or a similar one has been registered in the past, because we could always either reignite that student organization, especially we don't want 3 accounting and finance clubs all involve you if there's already one that can meet the needs of the students. But I always like to let students know that, because that is a leadership development opportunity, starting your own organization, really building it from the ground up. And I think that in a nutshell, putting that on your resume is really good as well in terms of employability. Any question about student organizations? So I'll kind of leave you all with this slide, and it basically is a call to action to all of you. So I don't know where you are on your, professional journey of getting into the career of choice, or just trying to get some leadership development experiences. But my call to action is to try to pursue at least 1 to 2 of these leadership development opportunities each semester. So whether that's participating in SOLD next Saturday, or that's joining a student organization and, applying to be an officer, really think about some of the meaningful experiences that you can have as you think about where you want to be in your career. And then the other call to action is really try to think about joining at least 1 active student organization. So I'll say that, Chris, really trying to figure out the organizations that are active and that are doing things so that you can get something out of that membership. Or if you feel like you want to bring an event or an experience to that organization, we can work together to do so as well, because I think that that's a really great experience. So either apply to be an officer, help plan an event, be on a committee for an event, things of that nature, I think would be all good leadership development opportunities. So that is all I have prepared for you all today. But if you all have any questions, I am here to answer as many questions as you want me to. So thank you all so much for your time.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
You too. You all stay healthy and safe.
Thank you.